Sylvia, welcome to Mullumbimby.
Thank you, it's marvellous to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming.
Yes, and it's really delightful to be here, particularly so soon after the residents have achieved such a marvellous outcome with regard to the Woolworths big box.
Sylvia, tell me about the new draft centres policy.
This is a policy that really worries me. Currently it's in draft form, and it's a policy that's may replace the existing the existing centres policy, which was formulated in 2001. The whole idea of the centres policy is to work out on what basis, where do you locate big shopping centres, bulky goods centres, the super shopping malls, where do you put them?
Yes.
And the 2001 policy puts great emphasis upon their location near transport modes, particularly public easy accessibility both by rail and by bus, and looks at both the limiting of the numbers of them and making sure that they're in locations that don't adversely affect communities. That's the theory behind it all. And that's and that's a policy that the government has had up until now. However, earlier this year, they put out a draft centres policy, a revision for public discussion. What it basically is motivated by is we believe the market should determine where these centres should go. It's basically open slather. Don't worry about considerations such as public transport. Don't worry about how many these big shopping centres there may be in one locality. The market will determine where it should be and whether it's wanted. Of course, the problem with that, and of course the people who are really pushing for it, who are really keen, apart from Joe Tripodi and the state government, are Woolworths and Coles. Because they see the more these centres open, the greater threat there is to strip shoppers. And the strip shopping community and the smaller independents, they are the biggest threat to Woolworths and Coles, and we know the massive influence they exercise on the market. And you can see that where the big centres have been set up, for example, Lismore.
Yes.
So many shops in the centre of Lismore are dead,
Yes.
It's a sort of the centre of the strip shopping, and the commercial centres tend to die as the focus moves to these big car-dependent malls. Coles and Woolworths are really keen to see this policy introduced because they see it as if they want to expand, this is the perfect way to do so. At the moment, I understand the opposition to it is coming from people like Westfield and Centro, who currently own some of the big centres, and they see the value of their investments being destroyed, or at least undermined. They're opposed to the change of the policy, as are the independent grocery, the IGA stores. I know they're opposed as well, because they see it as the death of the small independent retailers.
Yeah,
however,
the livelihoods of local people.
And I know, and of course, these smaller retailers who employ so many more people in a community, rather than these big shopping centres creating jobs, they destroy jobs. So at the moment, there's a fight going on, as it were, between Coles and Woolworths on the one hand, Westfield and the IGAs on the other. If the draft new policy goes through, then you will see a massive stampede, not only by Coles and Woolworths to expand, but also the Westfields of the world, because they're not going to stand back and let themselves be overtaken. So the pressures that Mullumbimby is seeing are just going to be replicated right across the state. And the impact on communities will be extraordinary, because those big shopping centres, you get so much so much infrastructure has to be provided for them. Whether it's sewage, water. You look at the
air conditioning,
the amount,
refrigeration,
exactly,
lighting,
the amount of land that's just handed over for parking, the encouragement for parking, and car dependency. So and that decimation of the character of our communities.
Yes.
So I really am very concerned about it, and what I will be doing will be writing to all councils, alerting them to what is happening and trying to get them to, in the interest of their communities, to even though the time for submissions is closed, to write to the government and say this policy is totally unacceptable.
Oh, good, Sylvia. Yes, let us know and we'll put it on our website.
Yeah.
Wayne Swan said, small business is the backbone of our community, and this new draft centres policy seems like it's going to break the backbone of our community.
Yeah. And that's why I think what's happened here in Mullumbimby is so important, because it shows when a community actually unites against something that you can achieve an outcome.
Oh, that's very encouraging.
Let's hope it's replicated across the state.
And we'll keep fighting, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming
Pleasure.
to talk to us.
Pleasure.